gave that vote to somebody that I trusted. And do you know what? That person, he abused my trust. I had no connection with this person. I want to tell you, first-time voters tonight, don't take that vote lightly. Don't go with the hype. Do not go with the glitz, the glamour. Stick to a party that welcomes you, the National Alliance family that welcomes you into their fold. Stick to a party that gets the job done.
Why do I choose National Alliance? Because I believe the team, I believe the government from National Alliance. They are working for the people, which is you, right? National Alliance has never been in 4 years, but I want you to put National Alliance in office this time 4 years, so we can do more things for everybody. No more complaints, no more ship jumping. This is National Alliance. They are only working for you. If you don't know, our leader is going to tell you a lot more later. But you know that at least for 6 years, the National Alliance has balanced the budget. Get money to do projects that is benefit for you and me, for the whole island, right?
Some might wonder why at this age I decided to run for politics. It's because I want to contribute. It's because I care about St. Martin, and because I know I can make a difference. Why? Because I'm listo. I'm ready to go. To do that, I need your vote. I have to work with 22 other candidates to get in Parliament. I have to work to make sure that I arrive at that spot where I can serve you, the people of St. Martin, and bring my vast knowledge that I have gained over the years, be that as administrator of St. Eustatius, be that as the president of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, be that as advisory bodies in the Netherlands Antilles, be that with all my experience throughout Asia. I can bring that to bear to the benefit of St. Martin. One of the bigger challenges that the government has is to create a job, a real job. Attached to the creation of a job is a number. In St. Martin can be 50, it can be $100,000. So when we say it is important for you to have a job is created because government invests. Government invests to create an enabling environment for an investor to come here, and so doing, you can get a job.
Of the Dutch Quarter, Middle Region area. They have gotten the garbage contract to clean the roads, and a job well done. We are putting in place an information service center for the youth to put back the military service in place that we had before. We build roads, yes or no? We build schools. You know what we're going to do now? We're going to build hotels too. I remember after Mullet Bay, somebody got up and said, I have the key. That too was an empty shell. So people of St. Martin, your hospital is coming. I've seen that the government building was standing there for a long, long time. And if you look at it now, before this election date on the 26th of September, we will move into the building. That is the National Alliance. Pastor, if I wasn't good in my faith, you would have moved me. But I am a National Alliance, and I'm going nowhere.
Life is a journey, full of connections. You're in safe hands, even when life starts too soon. You don't have to miss a single beat. When a bad hair day makes you sad, just sharing can bring you joy and more to come. They take the plunge, turn fear into faith, while you capture those beautiful moments. In the game of life, it's family that counts. They'll be there even when you lose. We all have our moments of reflection and hope. And when you feel you're losing everything in life, we're there because there's more to come. When life starts too soon, you don't have to miss a single beat. We're here to connect you and share life. Telcel, when you want more.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000 guineas real easy. Island Finance. For education, yes. A renovation, that's no problem. Yes, it's true. That's not all. They're quick and friendly too. Island Finance. Appliances, vacations, even fix your car. You can depend on Island Finance.
For the last couple of months, I have been talking about the matter of the law, in this case, the law on profit tax, and that how a change to that law that was passed by the Parliament of St. Martin in 2014, and that change had an adverse effect on what I call the regular associations and foundations. And after some inquiries and research by the Minister of Finance, to whom I directed my concerns with respect to that law, so after some research by him and his ministry, the minister has indeed concluded that some corrections, amendments, if you wish, need to be made. And I want to quote the minister in addressing this issue, and he stated, and I quote, Gibson said that the law passed by Parliament last year had some undesirable consequences for all foundations having to file taxes and to hire accountants to prepare to do so properly. However, what I missed from the statement of the minister was what exactly needs to happen now, and secondly, what happens in the meantime. So I have dispatched the following letter to our Minister of Finance, and I indicated that I am extremely pleased to note the conclusion, the Minister's conclusion, with respect to the changes to the profit tax ordinance as passed by Parliament in 2014. That's when this particular law was passed. The effective date of that law was April 30th, 2016. It is following that effective date that you saw this matter come up and you saw notices from the tax inspectorate with respect to associations and foundations. I continued in my letter to the minister and I stated, as it now appears, these changes to the law in 2014 had an adverse effect as far as they apply to so-called regular foundations and associations, namely foundations and associations that don't operate a business as such. They don't have business activities. When I first tabled my concerns with respect to the execution of the law, and the consequences thereof, there was some skepticism in the Ministry of Finance, and I am therefore satisfied to note that not only were my queries valid, but that the Minister intends to do the necessary to rectify the situation. I also acknowledge receipt of a copy of the letter that the Minister sent to the Tax Committee Foundation in which he explains this entire matter. My questions to the Minister are the following. What exactly needs to be done to rectify and or reverse this situation? 2. Is a change to the respective law necessary? 3. If so, when can Parliament look forward to receiving these proposed changes? And 4th, finally, what happens in the meantime? What is expected of associations and foundations in the meantime? So this letter has been dispatched by me to the Minister of Finance. Of course, I was very pleased to note the acceptance by Parliament, at least in the Central Committee of Parliament, where I presented my initiative draft laws on the matter of timeshare. As I have stated repeatedly, this regards 2 draft ordinances. One on timeshare, the so-called timeshare ordinance, and the second draft has to do with a timeshare authority, a body to regulate the timeshare industry on St. Martin. Again, what do these 2 laws encompass? 1, we finally have protection for our largest stayover tourism industry. We have in these laws as well a system for resolution of timeshare consumer protection, where in other words, the consumer, the timeshare consumer, can take whatever issue, problem, or matter that they have to deal with as a timeshare consumer. It also entails bankruptcy protection for all types of timeshare. The laws include the checks and balances for operating a timeshare property. It includes full disclosure for all projects, a code of conduct for salespersons, and regulation of what we call the vacation club. These sales are basically only vacation discounts that are offered to members. So the next step for these 2 initiative draft laws is a public meeting of Parliament, and once we get those going, I count on the same cooperation from the members of Parliament, and hopefully, finally, in the not too distant future, we will be able to say we have a timeshare ordinance and we have a timeshare authority ordinance. These both drafts I have put online so that persons can read the laws, and I welcome any comments and suggestions because, as I mentioned, these laws now have to go to a public meeting of Parliament. That is where laws are handled and passed.
I am Rudolph Samuel, candidate number 5 on the National Alliance slate. So on September 26th, go out and vote for me to represent you in Parliament.
Bob, I can understand why you're parking so carefully. Of course, when you can get 80% discount on your Be Sure car insurance. But that's overdoing it, Bob.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
Yeah! Oh my, what an inventory list, and so unnecessary. But wait, your home contents are all insured by Be Sure. That means that you determine the amount you want to insure. No inventory list, no hassle.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
These are the doors that never close. These are the hands that make a difference. These are the walls that could tell countless stories of helping and healing, of storms weathered, of change and growth, of a place where life begins, where hearts are mended, and where hope grows stronger. For more than a quarter of a century, the physicians, medical professionals, and staff of St. Martin Medical Center have combined advanced medical technology and compassionate care to bring a world of medicine to our friends, neighbors, and visitors to the island of St. Martin we all call home. As proud as we are of what we have accomplished, we believe there is still much work to do to continue a proud tradition of providing everyone in our community with the latest technology, the best medicine, and the most exceptional care. St. Martin Medical Center, celebrating 25 years of serving, caring, healing.
What I'm troubled by most of the, as I have indicated earlier on, is the fact that up to this point in time, those who are entrusted with the responsibility to lead haven't seen it fit at this late stage to begin or to attempt to at least vote that deliberation in the council to say, yes, with a certain level of responsibility, with a strong sense of purpose, we are to make the adjustments, make the changes in the field of education now. It doesn't seem to me that they are disturbed by the fact that our results on the academic level is the worst in the entire nation of France. They don't seem to be troubled by the fact that the percentage of young men and young men that are shipped off to Guadeloupe to be incarcerated, among the young men that are killed, through different gang violence, what's done on the streets, it don't seem to be bothering them. But our team, the Movement for Justice and Prosperity, remained highly convinced that we must act urgently. We must act decisively in order to resolve this issue. Now, like I said earlier on, 27 teachers are lacking. And the inspector was given the authority by his boss in Guadeloupe to do a local recruitment program. So students with a university degree can now apply to become teachers for at least for 1 year. What I'm saying here is that we have the opportunity today on an annual basis to have that selection exam organized, what you call in French a concours de recrutement, where every year we can select young St. Martinans with a certain level of understanding, with a certain university background, and who are apt in terms of learning different methods to teach the children, have them trained over a period of time, and then have them introduced to the classroom. This could be a program or plan of action that can be put in place as early as tomorrow, if there is a political will and the courage to have it done. here now, routine, how should I say, in a very haphazard manner, the inspector had to resort to that action or to that measure that we believe could be organized in a very, how should I say, in a very pragmatic, in a very organized way, so that we can get the meaningful results that would thus permit us to really begin the whole process of going towards bilingual education. So I'm troubled because it doesn't seem as if those who are there in government and those who are aspiring to become the rulers tomorrow, so to speak, have education at heart. But again, I want to say loud and clear that this issue of education or this principle stands out high on our agenda. It's our priority. It's one of our most urgent priorities, and we intend to carry out that measure. Let it be known that if our team, or when our team is elected to office, that whole issue of education will be dealt with in a very forceful, in a very professional, and in a very organized matter. What matters to us is to make sure that within the next 10 years, the academic success rate on St. Martin will triple, and we would have all the professionals needed to bring them back home, encourage them to come back home, so that they could become again part of the decision-making process in the country of their birth.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
The amounts are staggering. The difference between years ago and what is now being hoarded in financial assets and derivatives, financial assets to the tune of $200 trillion are being hoarded, and derivatives to the tune of $600 trillion. That's a total of $800 trillion, which before went back into the real economy, now no longer does so. In 2014, according to the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, on the basis of figures provided by the Bank for International Settlements and the World Bank indicators of 2015, it shows that $600 trillion was accumulated in financial derivatives and $200 trillion in financial assets. GDP during the years that financial assets and derivatives, that those funds were used to reinvest in the real economy, GDP numbers used to amount to 6%, 7%, and 8% per year. China, in those years, even had GDP growth of 10% for years. This year, the GDP growth in the United States of America is projected at 1%, meaning that Americans will have less money to spend, on travel to St. Martin. St. Martin used to have an annual GDP growth of 4%. Last year, GDP growth of St. Martin was 0.5%. And this year, the central bank is projecting that the GDP growth of St. Martin will be 0.9%. In Europe, GDP growth has been flat or negative for years. Several European countries are struggling with huge budget deficits and loans that they have difficulty in repaying. The world is in financial turmoil and has to change its pattern of development, because the present development pattern is not sustainable.